Hey everyone, welcome to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy presented by Spellhold Games. My name's Eugene, and I am not the commentator this evening, as this is a bonus video. We wanted to get something up for the channel to make up for losing round 3, so without further ado, here is Bryson with some Pauper magic. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to another round of Pauper Magic brought to you by Spellhold Games. And tonight we've got AJ piloting Big Affinity on the top and myself piloting Blue-Black Curve on the bottom. And now AJ's Affinity deck is mainly trying to, as most Affinity decks, generate large amounts of artifacts to reduce the casting costs of Mirror Enforcers and Frogmites and Thought Casts. But where AJ's deck differs is it runs the Pauper Siege Rhino, the Bleak Coven Vampires, which with Metalcraft does the same effect. Target player loses 4 and you gain 4. And then you can generate more value with Ichor Wellsprings and Deadly Disputes, as well as this Ethereum Spinner, which when you cast any spell mana value 4 or greater, you create a 1/1, which this deck is crammed full of that you're never actually paying the mana cost for. Now the deck I'm playing, known as Blue-Black Curve, is trying to control the deck with counter spells, removal, card advantage, and eventually use a Serpentine Curve to put a very large Fractal in play and beat face with either the Fractal or a Gurmag Angler. Alright, enough with the intros, let's get into the game. I believe I won the die roll here, just had to mold a 6, putting a card to the bottom. Start off with basic Island into Preordain. Got to start the sculpting now. It kind of allows the minimal land count in the deck while still hitting all the relevant pieces. AJ here starting off with the new quote-unquote Springleaf Drum, the Moon Snare prototype, not only allowing you to tap a creature, but also allowing to tap an untapped artifact. Generating a colorless, which isn't as good as a colored mana, but like he did there, being able to tap Ichor Wellspring is pretty good value. He went for that Thought Cast there, which was not so wisely countered by myself with just a raw counter spell. Usually you don't really want to counter the draw spells, like this guy right here being the real Thopter generator would have probably been a better target, but the deck is full of removal spells, so there are definitely a lot of options here. End step here, I deploy a Mystical Teachings, which is the toolbox aspect of the deck, allowing to search for any instant or card with flash and put it into hand, and it also has flashbacks. And I decide to pick up a Frantic Inventory, which is the grind element of the deck, especially with Mystical Teachings allow you to hunt for the future copies to increase your card advantage from the card. There goes Pristine Talisman, kind of a way to itch out against burn as well as break parity on buybacking Evankar's Justice if that game eventually gets to that board state. AJ here deploying his Ancestral Recall, using Deadly Dispute to sack Ichor Wellspring, so not only are you drawing the one card off the Wellspring leaving, but you draw the other 2 and create the treasure off the Dispute. Very good effect, especially being instant speed. You can cast a Deadly Dispute in response to someone removing your artifact creature. And there goes that Ethereum Spinner, just waiting for some big chunky spells that AJ pays less mana for. There's that Frantic Inventory, drawing a card, looking for a land drop, or maybe something to interact. Fortunately, doesn't find anything there. AJ now using that Moon Snare to create mana with that Ichor Wellspring, and he deploys another Ethereum Spinner. So that next big chunky spell is going to be followed by 2 Thopters along the way. Now he plays this Virus Beetle, which I kind of 1-for-1 with the Exclude, just the counter targets creature spell draw card. Now the Evankar's Justice sweeps the board out. AJ using, I believe, a Welding Jar to save one of his Thopter men. There comes the Siege Rhino, the Bleak Coven Vampires, starting the drain, as well as also being just a 4/3 beater. We are correcting that Bleak Coven was indeed a spell greater than 4 CMC, so he comes along with a Thopter. I'm able to make a, seems to be like a 9/9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 9/9. Or 8/8, my bad. 8/8 fractal. Yeah, the one unfortunate thing about the curve deck, although it has a lot of answers, it's not very dense thread, so AJ with his cast down, swiftly clearing that up, so he can make a big swing there, knocking me down to 7. Kind of limits the options. Even with a few pieces of removal, AJ's got a lot of junk on the board. Well, if 8/8's good, 9/9's probably better. But there's AJ with the cast down to quickly take care of business. Lucky on AJ's part, considering he's only running 2 of the cast downs, but still, any piece of removal or interactive would have got me there. Scoop it up onto game 2, and I've got the play here. Just going with the island go, keeping our 7s. Nothing explosive on AJ's end, but usually turn 2 is when the explosion really happens. AJ thought he made a mistake with his mulligan, but we're all good. He's dropping down that Ichor Wellspring. Probably going to use that next turn. Oh, there you go, the Ancestral. Got to sack it off the Deadly Dispute. Generate the treasure. Draw more cards. Deploying the Moon Snare. And the free Ornithopter. Passing the turn, representing, at least untapping with 5 mana and Affinity pretty high. I decided to cycle the Pauper Kolaghan's Command. Oh, it's not showing on my list here. Basically allows you to counter target creature spell or counter target creature spell and return target creature spell from graveyard to hand. I know I don't really run many creatures, but having the flexibility of a counter target spell that can also pick back up the Gurmag Angler kind of gives you a little more threat density. Just cantripping away there. AJ tapping for the Big Daddy himself. Ethereum Spinner. Probably one of the best engine cards in AJ's deck. Really leveraging these large, chunky spells that he's not paying that much for. There goes one of my sideboard cards, Agony Warp. Taking out one of the Thopter generators. Sometimes allowing for the 2-for-1 in reducing damage, but even if it's a 1-for-1 as a removal spell, it's not bad, especially being able to pick off Indestructible with that -0, -3 effect. And the real engine of the card that keeps me from decking is Devious Cover-Up. A counter spell that not only exiles a spell, but allows me to shuffle cards from my graveyard back into the deck, allowing me to either rebuy the other Devious Cover-Up, or maybe another Serpentine Curve, or just keep the deck fueled with gas when the library is low. AJ on his wild triple Mirror Enforcer, which is really strong with the Ethereum Spinner, as each Enforcer comes with a 1/1 flying Thopter on the way. Yeah, me seeing the writing on the walls. It's quick 2 games there. Thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully get more videos out soon.
Pretty quick one there for you. The Big Affinity really going over the top of the blue-black control deck. Just to let you know, the deck lists are in the description as always, and we do plan on having another bonus Pauper video up shortly. It's going to be a Grixis Goblins list versus Jeskai Ephemerate. Please like all these videos, and if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel, as it really helps our numbers grow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.